Hi, I'm Rob. It's garage time. Okay, see you later, bye. Hi everybody, I am out here in the driveway on a blazing hot July day to do a couple of things. I thought today what I would do is give you a tour of the donor, the Jag Special donor, and then we're gonna run it because I like to run this thing to keep the engine healthy, and I want to run it one more time before I get serious about taking it apart. So some exposition I think is in order here. This right here, the Jag Special donor, is a 1985 Jaguar XJ6 that Pam and I bought for $500 in April of 2018, and it has sat here on the jack stands since May of 2018, since May of that year. And one thing that I like to do is run the engine occasionally in order to keep it healthy, and also because it just blows my mind that this thing with 145,000 miles on it, and the fact that it's 37 years old, just starts up and runs. Utterly dispelling the myth that Jaguars are hopelessly unreliable. Not that they, not that that isn't somewhat deserved, but here the Series 3 XJ6 was pretty fully developed, and Jaguar had gone to lengths to eliminate all the crap electronics that made these things unreliable. So as you can see here, we have the last version of the William Lyons Jaguar XK6 that was originally designed in the late 1940s and was in pretty much every Jaguar excuse me, up until the development of the AJ6, which was called the Advanced Jaguar 6, that went into the next version of the XJ6, which was around 1988. This car, I've had to do some modification to it, as you have seen in one of the introductions, because it has no floors. And I had to replace right here, you can see my copper pipe that is tracing along the original steel pipe. This is the fuel return for the fuel injection system, and that goes back underneath the car. There it is right there, showing in the wheel well. And you can see one of the original fuel returns disconnected from the tank that used to be inside this fender well. I haven't removed the tank from the other side, so this still has its passenger side fuel tank in it. But what I had to do was replace the fuel tanks. I had to reconfigure the fuel system. This is the fuel tank that will go in the back of the Jag Special. This is the Jag Special's fuel tank, and it's marked. There's the return line and the vent, and it's got about a, I don't know, little, maybe around a gallon of gas, and maybe a little less than a gallon of gas. Here I have replaced the original Jaguar fuel pump with an aftermarket unit because the original pump died. And in fact, this is the fuel pump that will most likely go in the Jag Special once it gets its fuel system installed. So what we're going to do today is run this thing. And like I said, there's about a gallon of gas in there, and what you will find is that from stone cold, all I have to do is put a battery in it over there in the battery box. All I have to do is put a battery in it and turn the key, and it will fire right up. Now, there's a thing I need to show you, because as some of you may have come to understand watching some of these videos, that I can be kind of an idiot sometimes. Maybe. So in one of those special moments of idiocy, I actually cut the stock throttle cable because for some reason in my head I thought it was the cruise control cable. It wasn't. And then I get in the car, I went to run, it's like, why doesn't the throttle pedal work anymore? And then I was like, so what I've had to do is put together a homebrew sort of throttle cable setup here. This cable right here is a replacement for the Jag XJ6 cruise control cable. And over there, we'll walk around and I will show you. Over here, this is a throttle cable for, I believe, a Nissan sedan. But the deal is, it has the correct end for the Jaguar throttle arm down in there. You can see it for the Jaguar throttle arm. It's got the correct end for the throttle arm, so that works fine. And then the other end of the Jaguar cruise control cable has the correct end for the throttle pedal. And what I've done is I've joined them temporarily using the clevis that came stock on the end of the Jaguar cable with a bolt through it. And you'll see how I attach it to the VIN plate right here so that it works. And then we'll put a battery in it and we'll crank it up. Now, you're going to say, oh, but maybe you already ran this. And what we will do, just to show you that this thing is at ambient, even though it's really hot out today, it's like 90 something. We take the infamous and ever wonderful, the exhaust manifolds, as you can see, are 116.3 degrees, which is appropriate, and that one's 118. It's at ambient, shall we say. So what I'm going to do now is make it so that the throttle cable works. My kludgy messed up throttle cable. And then I'm going to put a battery in it, and we'll turn the key, and it will run, because that's what it does. All right, so let's set up some cameras and make a show. Mach Schau. Yeah. That. Okay, the throttle's hooked up, the battery's connected. Let's go fire things up. Without further ado, remember, this is from dead cold. How about that? A nice 60 psi oil pressure at 1200 RPM. Come on. Come on, voltmeter. What I will do is run it until it's up to 90 degrees C, into the green on the temperature gauge, and then that'll be good. So, there you have it. It's a little lumpy at idle, and I think that's because maybe the injectors might be a little dirty, or you know, it could stand new plugs, because who knows how old these plugs are. And you'll see that it doesn't really smoke. Here we go. Let's watch that again. Yeah. Runs pretty good for a ratty old tank. So, okay, let's let this thing warm up and then we'll do some other stuff. You can hear the fuel pump buzzing away nicely. I had tried connecting the fuel level sender to the original Jaguar wiring. The resistance on this fuel level sender is set up for a GM system and a GM gauge. I forget what the resistance is, but it doesn't quite work with the Jaguar system. So I won't be using the Jaguar fuel level gauge, but I will be using all these other gauges because I really like how they look. And of course we would want them to be original, you know. So the whole thing about Jags being unreliable, I don't know, man. I'm expecting that once I get this thing installed into the Jag Special and hook up all the wiring, it's going to fire right up and it's going to run, and I'll be able to drive this thing up and down the neighborhood. Yeah, good times. All right, so I got to let it run for like another 5 minutes, and then we're going to stop, and then we're going to explore what it will take to begin the disassembly so we can get that engine out and figure out its installation right there. Let's go do another temperature check, shall we? Exhaust manifold, there's 642 degrees and rising. The radiator is 175 degrees, 176, 177. Yep, heating up nicely. Give it a couple blips and then we'll shut it down. We're done for right now though. And oh really? Cool. Okay, let's go take the battery out, disconnect some stuff, and then we'll start doing some prep. The early initial prep for taking that engine out. One of the first things I got to do is depressurize the fuel system. So that's real easy. Come over here and disconnect the hot lead for the fuel pump. Boom. Had to use two hands. Oh, just banged my head on the trunk lid because that's what happens. There we go. Once more with feeling. Good. The fuel system is now depressurized.
Church people aren't even hanging around.
Ooh, it's bloody hot, you know. Okay, there's one end. There we go. Whoops. Okay, the throttle cable's all done. The fuel injection is depressurized. Let's go drain the fuel tank. This did not go so well last time. Let's see if I can do a better job of it today. Trying not to spill gasoline all over the ground. So first of all, we clamp that shut. Boom, you are clamped off. Let's see if we can keep from spraying gasoline all over our shoes like we did last time. Take the hose off. It's gonna leak a little bit. That is in the bucket, right? Yes, it is. And let's drain the tank. Much better than last time. Clamp this. Let's undo this. I'm going to take the fuel pump out as well. Pull that hose up. Getting a little bit of gas on my hands. And then try not to hit my head on the trunk latch like the other 50 times I've been in here. Come on. Yay! Now we have our fuel pump bracket, which can go right in here. Whoa, look at that. Fuel pump. This is all going to wind up in a box labeled Jag Special Fuel System. And there it is, the Jag Special fuel tank in place in the tail end of the Jag Special. So I have been broiled and boiled and am ready to call it a day. So that was fun. And like I said, the next time you see that engine run, it will be in the Jag Special. Right there. So as always, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and please like and subscribe, and I'll see you around the channel. Remember, this is from dead cold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, my daddy, he raised stock cars a long, long time ago at New England's fastest quarter mile, good old Westboro Road. He and Mom would rally around in their MGTD, but they bought a Porsche 356 to hear my mom dance. I was raised by gearheads, this apple fell not far from under Daddy's tutelage, messing around with cars.